Hi guys, welcome back to Mysteries with Pippa. I hope you all are having a lovely Christmas and I hope you're all prepared for me to be back officially now on YouTube. I've just had a couple of weeks where I've been a bit absent, but I am back now. Like I said, I hope you guys are all having a lovely Christmas. I know I am with my family, and I wanted to do a video today to raise awareness for quite a few families who will not be having a lovely time today, especially because when you have a child that is missing or hasn't been found or something is suspicious, you can't go on with your life. So a big celebration like a birthday or Christmas, Halloween, Easter, any kind of event where people are meant to have fun, you will always have in the back of your mind your loved one who is not there. And this is the whole reason why I wanted to do this case today, to just kind of don't dampen your kind of Christmas spirits, but just be aware that cases like this can happen. So this is the case of Andrew Gosden. Andrew Gosden, also known by his family as Roo, was born on the 10th of July 1993 in Doncaster, which is in the UK. He was born to his parents, Kevin and Glenys. So his parents were the most amazing parents in terms of open-mindedness and respectfulness. So his parents were both devout Christians, but they never baptised their son Andrew, as they wanted him to kind of choose his own path and for them not to force their views upon him. And for the last 18 months before he disappeared, he didn't attend church, and his parents didn't mind this either. He was described by his father as a home bird, so someone who would just rarely go out to socialise, but that this didn't make him a loner. He was just so okay and so preferred his own company that he would frequently be at home, but that this would make him happy. Andrew was also a very gifted student. He had a 100% attendance record for his whole duration during school, and he was also a gifted mathematician. He was on what we call in the UK kind of like a gifted and talented register, where they get special help, children who are really gifted, the top 5%, and he was well on his way to a very clever and successful life. He was also lucky because he had and got all these straight A's and he was impressive to teachers, but he didn't try, he didn't overwork himself, he cruised through school as it was described, and he was just naturally gifted. But he wasn't cocky about this, you know, he kept to himself, he was quite shy and reserved, but he was very fortunate in the sense that he didn't have to try to be so clever. It just came to him. I think it's also important to note that before he disappeared, he wasn't described as being depressed or as being bullied. So he was perfectly fine, seemed very happy, nothing really out of the ordinary, apart from a couple of things that I want to get into. So the events leading up to his disappearance, in the summer holidays before he disappeared in 2007, when he was 14 years old, his parents kind of offered him or gave him the opportunity, or even suggested, you know, about going up to see his grandma in London and going up alone on the train, and he was very kind of like against it. He refused. His parents were okay with this, but it's just something to keep in mind from what we later find out happens. And a couple of days before he disappeared, he broke his normal routine of getting on the bus home. It was 4 miles from his school to his house, and he would always get the bus home. He had done ever since he went to school, but a couple of days before, he would actually walk the 4 miles back home and wouldn't get the bus. And this was also a little bit suspicious, but cannot be explained as to why. So on the day he disappeared, on the 14th of September 2007, it was a very unusual day. So he got up a little later than what he normally would. His mum had to wake him up, which was something that she'd never had to have done before. And he was really kind of groggy, very irritable, and this was completely out of character for him. Like I said, he wasn't like your normal typical teenager who would socialise and get really moody and irritable at his family and friends and his mother and father. like every teenager does. He wasn't like that, so for him to do this on the day seemed really strange. So he went about his routine. He left at 8:05 as he did every morning to catch the bus to school, except on this day he didn't go to school, so he was breaking his 100% attendance, which it seems quite serious. He stayed at a local park called the Westfield Park until the rest of his family left their house to get on about the day, his sibling going to school and his mum and dad going to work. Andrew was actually captured by a CCTV nearby his house. It was a neighbour's house, kind of leaving the local park and going straight back to his home. Then it was revealed once he went home, he had changed out of his uniform and got into casual clothes. His uniform was found in the wash, and his blazer was found in his bedroom on the back of his seat. He put on a black Slipknot t-shirt. It is a band t-shirt by the band Slipknot, and also blue jeans. He also had with him a side bag which had like a buffet of band pins that ran along it, and he was quite alternative, you know, the goth mosher kind of thing. He wanted to dye his hair black, you know, he listened to all these bands. He had this side bag with him, and he also took his PSP, you know, the portable PlayStation. Also took the side bag, his wallet and his keys. So he was going prepared for somewhere. But it is strange by the fact that he didn't take two things, actually a couple of things. He didn't take any kind of sweatshirt or a jumper or a coat. He just wore a t-shirt, so he wasn't really planning for future weather. He didn't take £100 that he had got from his birthday. He left it up in his room. He also didn't take the charger to his PSP. He then left his house at 8:30 AM and was again captured on CCTV. And he went to a local cash machine and withdrew out £200. This was the last time he used his bank account. He then walked to Doncaster train station and bought a single ticket. I must make this clear, not a return, a single one, to London's King Cross station. He then got to London at 11:25 AM and was seen leaving the train station, and this is the last verified, confirmed sighting of him. So what was happening back at home while he was trekking off to London is school realised that he wasn't at school, and this was very odd due to the 100% attendance that he always had, and a teacher tried to ring his parents. Now, I don't know if this is kind of like, this just frustrates me so much. The teacher had accidentally misdialed a number, so he couldn't get through to the parents, so it meant his absence wasn't logged until well into the evening, and it basically went unnoticed. His family didn't know, the school kind of carried on with the day, all because someone accidentally misdialed a number. Along came 7 PM, he still hadn't returned home, and so his family called the police. Posters were put up in the area and the local area was thoroughly searched. Unbeknowingly to them, he was actually in London. Then 3 days later, a couple of people came forward to advise them that they had seen him and he was actually travelling to London. The two people that came forward was the person who sold him the ticket and the person who sat next to him on the London train. So the person who sold him the ticket specifically remembers him because I think for like an extra £1 or an extra $1 and like an extra 20p or 20 cents, it was a very small amount. For an extra little bit of amount, you could get a return journey. And he was very adamant. He was like, no, I just want a single, I don't want a return. And this stuck with the driver a bit because many people add the return journey for an extra 20p. So he was really kind of baffled by that. And the second person who remembers him was the person who sat next to him on the train to London. She remembers him as being very quiet and just kind of engrossed on his PSP and not really talking to anyone. Now, theories of where he actually went is so frustrating because none make sense, but all could be a possibility. there are no theories or like credible theories as to what made him leave. He wasn't on bad terms with his family. They thought that someone had groomed him online and he was talking to someone online and was going to meet them. But this turned out to be false, because Andrew wasn't someone who was interested in phones. He didn't even have an email account. The school's servers were checked to see if he'd had any activity on there. There was none. His sister's computer, who she'd only got 6 weeks before he'd left, was fully checked. Nothing. He didn't even have a phone. He got given a phone for his 12th birthday, but it broke like a year later, and he wasn't even interested in getting it kind of renewed. He was interested in so much more in life than kind of electronics. That just wasn't his way about things. Then the second theory was that he was going to kind of sightsee in London and then go to his family, because his dad said it was easier for him or for Andrew to ask for forgiveness than seek permission. So they thought he'd like gone off to stay with family and go sightseeing, but there's nothing. He didn't go to any family member's house. From when he left London King Cross train station, we have no idea what he was up to. Then there is something that came up kind of later this year. Many people are dismissing it, but I am going to just bring it up in the case because, you know, there's always a little bit of hope in me that he's still alive, that he's just kind of gone off for whatever reason, that he will eventually come back. He's a very, very he's a very bright and clever, new word, a bright and clever individual. And one of these theories is that he left for no reason, because he felt like it. And this is backed up by someone had been in an online conversation with someone whose handle name, you know, their like username, was Andy Roo. So straight away, you know, his nickname was Roo. But I can also counter argue that and say a lot of people have the name Roo. My boyfriend is called Andy. His nickname is New. So Roo, New. There's so many people who are called Roo, short for Andrew. This person was having an online conversation, and this Andy Roo character was saying that his partner had left him. He did state it was his boyfriend. He said, my boyfriend has left me, you know, I need money, I need £200 to cover my rent. And the person online offered to help pay and said, you know, send me across your bank details, I'll transfer you the money. And Andy Roo's response was that he didn't have a bank account because he left home when he was 14. And then when he was asked why, he just said, because I felt like it. He also disconnected mid-conversation as well, which is very disconcerting because the person couldn't get any more information out as to find out why he left or what was going on. But a lot of people do believe that this was the person who's been missing. But also a lot of people believe it could just be a prank or just coincidental that it was someone else who left when they were 14. Their name was also Andrew, short for Roo. All the things are very plausible, but I just wanted to put it out there. And it's also heartbreaking because that is everything that we have on this case, and even his mother and father have not changed the room around since he left that day. They still continue to put money into his bank account in case he ever uses it, and you know, they tell him if he's gay he doesn't need to worry. They weren't concerned for his sexuality, but they had a feeling that he wasn't sure what his sexuality was, and they want him to know that if he is gay, it doesn't matter. Even if he's been away this many years, it doesn't matter. I think all they care about is the safe return of him. And this will be the 11th Christmas without their son, which is so heartbreaking. I'm so sorry to end it there. I don't want to bring down all your moods, but just, I don't know, while you're having a good time and good celebrations, maybe just spare a thought for someone who's missing, or, you know, maybe share the story. You don't have to send it on here. I'll give you a link below to all the information that I have on Andrew. You can share any of them. You don't need to do it for me or for publicity. This is purely just to get this case out, as is all my cases. But as you know, every subscriber is greatly appreciated, and I talk to loads of people on Instagram. I have lots of friends now. Yeah, this is a community. This is not, I'm a YouTuber, you guys are my fans and you guys have to share this to raise awareness. There are other ways you can do it. You do not have to share my videos, because not everyone likes them. People want to read vlogs, people want to read posters. So I will link everything down below. So please, if there's, you know, he is the poster child now for missing people. If there's any way you can share anything, whether it is this video or just his information on your social media, it would be greatly appreciated this Christmas, just to try and raise some awareness on where the hell he is or what happened to him. So guys, this is where I love you and I leave you for now. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Christmas with your families. Hold them close tonight, have a good time, and I shall see you guys soon. If you like this video, maybe you'll give me a thumbs up, and if you love it, you might just subscribe. So until next time, bye.